Hey guys, it's Karen from A Yarn Tale. This is a knitting podcast where we talk about what we're working on, what we want to work on, and things we started working on but will probably never work on again. It has been a long time because I got sucked into TikTok. If you're on TikTok, please come see me. I'm Not Fancy Knitter over there, just as I am on Instagram. And my brother is really active on social media. He road races bicycles, and he coaches, he's on a team, and so he's always badgering me to, be more active on social media. And he's like, you should get on TikTok, it's really great, you would love it. And I'm like, TikTok, like, come on. I am old. I'm gonna be the oldest person on TikTok by like 15 years. And he's like, no, there's tons of old people on TikTok. You should do it. Come find me. We have lots of fun over there, but I'm gonna try to find a schedule that also works for YouTube so that I don't just end up falling off a cliff on one or the other. And also my family doesn't starve to death as I do my social media ridiculousness. Okay, but I have missed you guys. I love podcasting over here, and I would love to know what you're working on, and I'd love to show you what I'm working on. So I have not finished that much since I talked to you last, but I did finish one thing. This is a hat. It is loosely based on the Purl Soho classic ribbed hat, which is a free pattern over on Ravelry. You can find it on the Purl Soho page as well. I'll link it below. I used the numbers from that. It's just a 1x1 rib, but I did modify it a little bit. So the pattern as written is just a 1x1 rib, kind of all the way up, and then there's decreases at the top. I kind of messed up my stitch count somehow, which I don't really know how that happens with a 1x1 rib. Maybe I didn't cast on the correct number. I intended to cast on the correct number for an adult small, but I might have messed it up. Counting is not my strong suit. I don't think you can really see it. There is one little spine that is shorter than the rest. Like, there it is. Where is it? That one right there doesn't start as soon as the other ones because I just didn't have enough stitches. But I mean, it's on the top of your head. You really can't see it. So I cast on whatever number of stitches, and then you're just supposed to knit a 1x1 rib all the way down. But I actually knit a double wide brim and sewed down the brim using a tutorial that's on the Petite Knit website. It's in Danish, like, full disclosure. But basically she just shows an up close of her hands knitting the collar of a sweater down. And so you don't have to know what she's saying. I have no idea what she's saying, but you can pretty much tell by what she's doing how she ended up knitting it down. And I have used this for the collar of sweaters. I've used it for hats. The only thing you have to keep in mind is when you knit, so you knit it double, you knit it together, and then you want to keep knitting this way, but you're going in the wrong direction to do so. So I did one German short row, which I can't even find, but I did one German short row in there just to change the direction of my knitting so that when I flipped it up, it would be going in the right direction. It's hidden somewhere in the hat, so you really can't tell. The only other thing that is sort of noteworthy about this hat is I have been going back and forth between knitting English style and knitting continental style, throwing and picking, and I got partway through the brim of this hat and was like, oh, I should probably knit this continentally. I bet it would be easier than like bringing the yarn to the front, bringing the yarn to the back for English style. So I did one ill-fated row in a continental style, and then I realized my tension for continental knitting is apparently way looser. I mean, look at that, you can see it. But so I switched back to English style because I didn't like the way that looked. And it doesn't matter because it's on the inside of the hat, like it's on the oh my gosh, yarn. It's on the inside of the brim. So I didn't tank back because I was like, whatever, you're not gonna see it. And I bet, I haven't blocked it. I bet if I washed it, it would sort of even out a little. I don't know. I don't know. It's for me, so it's not gonna bother me. But in the future, if I am gonna knit something continentally, I'll just have to start from the beginning of the projects. I didn't know it would make that much difference, but it really does. I knit this hat out of Knit Picks Swish DK in Haze Heather. That's kind of this lavender color, which I have been crazy about lately. I cannot get enough of lavender everything. This is, I believe it's wool. Yeah, it's 100% super fine superwash merino wool. I really like this yarn. It's really affordable. It is nice to work with. It's not very splitty, and they have really good colors. So highly recommend. This is my one FO. I'm not gonna be able to wear it for several months, but I will put it in the drawer and it'll be ready for next year. And that's it for FOs. My other works in progress are a lot of which you've seen before, and they're not finished because they're really heavy sweaters, and it's warming up in Chicago finally. So I don't really have a lot of interest in knitting a really heavy adult size sweater when it's hot outside. So I'll show you what I've got, but I'm pretty much putting these sweaters on hold until it gets closer to the fall. So this is my Schneeflocken, which is like the eternal project. It's been going on for more than a year now. It's almost done. The body is done, the sleeves are done, everything's attached. And the only thing I have to do is knit the collar, which is supposed to be a 1x1 rib turtleneck in the dark brown color, which is Brooklyn Tweed Loft in the colorway Pumpernickel. But I've been toying around with just making it a crew neck. I just have to pick up stitches around, and I thought maybe I'd just do a 1x1 crew neck. I don't know that you really need a turtleneck for this. It's pretty warm to begin with. It's, Brooklyn Tweed Loft is a really lofty yarn, no surprise there. So it's really warm. It's double stranded for a lot of it, so it's double thick. So I don't know that I need a turtleneck. I'm gonna sort of toy around with that. I might just make it a crew neck. Also, I am lazy, so the crew neck sounds really appealing right now. I also have to graft the underarms together, but that shouldn't take too long. And then that one will be done. That is Into the Wool by Sarah Solomon. My second whip is another giant sweater. This is the Spot Sweater by Ventzel, and I'm actually gonna put it on so you can see the length. Ah, yarn everywhere, yarn everywhere. Okay, so this is an all over colorwork sweater that I talked about a lot in my last episode. I have finished the body, and I'm almost done with my first sleeve. You can see the body is pretty short. It's flipping up a lot, but I know once I block it, it should lay flat. So it's pretty short in the body. It's not entirely cropped, but it's shorter than some of my other sweaters. So I just have to complete this first sleeve and then pick up stitches like take the other sleeve off waist yarn and knit the second sleeve. And then do something about this collar. It's supposed to be kind of a large folded over collar. I think kind of in the style of this, where it's knit together. I haven't really looked at the pattern in a long time. So I'm not entirely sure what happens with the neckline, but I do know there were a lot of complaints and grumbling about it on the Ravelry pages, so I might have to kind of see if I can troubleshoot the collar into something that will work. But I'm not too worried about it. I just haven't worked on it because it is so hot. It's 3 strands of mohair. I'm knitting it out of 3 strands of mohair for the lighter color, the background color. Out of Filcolana Tilia, and then 1 strand of Filcolana Pernia, which is 100% wool fingering weight for the darker color in Nutmeg. And it is, to say it is super warm is such an understatement. I mean, it is toasty. So there's no way I can work on this when it's like above 50 degrees outside. So I think I'm just gonna put it on hold for a couple months and then come back to it in the fall. I don't think it will take very long. Once you get into a groove with the color work, it's really fun to knit. So this is my sleeve. I have been using stitch markers. I don't know if you can see this. Oh, really? This is hard to show. Okay, so I have been using removable stitch markers all the way down to mark my decreases so that hopefully I can knit an identical second sleeve even if there's a lot of time in between the first and the second. So that is my Spot Sweater. I would highly recommend it. If you can get through the first 12 rows, which is kind of a setup portion of the top of the sweater where the color work is knit flat, if you can power through those 12 rows, it's actually a sort of a nice relaxing knit as opposed to something where you just want to stab yourself, which with your knitting needles. Don't give up. It is worth it. So that is my other whip. My last I have two other whips. One is weird. One is normal. So my weird one, I have a lot of scraps. I was trying to organize my knitting area and I put all my scraps in a box. It's this giant box. I should show you, but it's way over there and I don't think I can pick it up. And I was like, I should use these scraps. I don't really make blankets, or I haven't made a blanket. And I made a bunch of mittens. But I mean, how many mittens can one person make? I mean, we're about to find out, but it's not really a sustainable solution to make only mittens out of my scraps. So I was trying to use up this white, and I found a pattern for an amigurumi little dog. It's called Knit Your Own Dog, which is actually a book by Sally Muir, and she also has some other dog knitting books called Best in Show or whatnot. But I wasn't sure. I didn't want to buy the book because I've never made a toy or an amigurumi or any kind of fiddly knitting thing. So I wasn't sure if I would like it. But one of the patterns, at least one, is free, and that is the Jack Russell pattern. So this is a knit your own Jack Russell. If you really use your imagination, it looks vaguely dog-like. So this is his legs. Hang on. And then this is the head. I have to finish the head. I think I messed it up a little. So I might have to go back to the head and redo it. That's the head. This is the little tail. And then I have to stuff it and knit it together, or sew it together. I think it's mattress stitch all the way around. There is, in the pattern, there is a decent amount of instructions for making your dog, your Jack Russell, a two-tone so that it has the markings of a Jack Russell. I only had white yarn. I don't have any fingering weight, sort of brownish color. And I was like, really, who cares? It's for my kids or for whoever wants a little knit dog. Or it's for my dog. I don't know, maybe Max will like it. So I thought I'll just make it all white. And then if I really like making stuff like this, I can get more inventive as to like the coloring and the different types of yarn that you use. But this is just to use up scraps. This is my little Jack Russell, and hopefully I can knock him out in like another weekend. The one thing, okay, so it is super fiddly, right? Obviously you have to knit these little, the side of the dog flat and then the other side and the little tail. You got to pick up those couple of stitches and do it. But it is weirdly gratifying because each part of the dog is kind of its own discrete small project. So you can actually sit down and finish something or finish some part of the project in one sitting, which after knitting an adult-sized sweater is really gratifying. So I'm hoping to knock this out in another weekend or so, and then I'll have a little dog. I'll show you what he looks like. And then my last work in progress is my Tin Can Knits Love Note. So in case you forgot, we're still having the Tin Can Knits Knit Along, which runs, it's supposed to run through June 15th, but I think I'm gonna extend it to the 30th because I have been a derelict podcaster and I wanna give people enough time to finish up their projects if they have some in the works. So if you are working on any Tin Can Knits project and you can finish it by June 30th, feel free to post on either Instagram or Ravelry. There's a FO thread in the Ravelry group, or on both, because I'm going to be pulling from both. So I would highly recommend posting on both. I'll put the hashtag down below. It is, I believe, Knit Us Together 2022, Kale. And so you can post your FOs on there. If you're not on Instagram or Ravelry, don't worry. A bunch of people have emailed me their FOs to the email for this podcast, which is ayarntale@gmail.com. And if you just send me your FO pictures, I'll be sure to include you in the drawings for prizes. We have fabulous prizes. Let me show you some of them. We have 2 bags from Miss Ginger Handmade. This is bag number 1. There's this beautiful yellow floral print on the outside, this really springy and lovely print on the inside. There's drawstring at the top, so you don't have to worry about your knitting getting caught on any zipper or closure. And each one has a pocket on the inside that has the contrasting fabric in it. They are incredibly easy to use. You can stuff a lot in here. I have my sweater project in there and it still fits. This is the second bag, which has this gingham print on the front. and strawberry print on the inside. So cute. The pocket is the gingham print again. And like I said, they both have drawstring closures and a beautiful strap. They're really functional, they're really beautiful, and she is a lovely individual. So I would highly recommend you go check her out. As far as I can tell, she is only selling on Instagram right now. But I'll put her Instagram down below, and please just feel free to DM her. I mean, if you're gonna be nice about it, because she's really responsive and great to work with. So everyone, I'll have a drawing from Instagram and a drawing from the FO thread in Ravelry. Each person will get a bag and a skein of yarn. We have yarn from Fine Fish, which is a merino single in the colorway Bacal. We have yarn from Life in the Long Grass, which is in the colorway Fuller's Clay. It's sock yarn, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I love those speckles. And then our third skein of yarn is from Suburban Stitcher. It is also a sock yarn, 75-25 superwash merino nylon in the colorway Shelter, which is like this beautiful lavender gray with these rusty colored speckles. Beautiful. These are donated from Valerie, who's a viewer. Thank you so much, Valerie. So take some time, finish up your Tin Can Knits projects and post them by the 30th because we have some amazing prizes. We also have patterns from Knitting in Mauritius. I don't know if you have been watching her podcast, but she is lovely. She makes amazing garments, and she has recently started designing patterns and has donated some patterns to the podcast. So each winner will get a copy of a pattern from Knitting in Mauritius, and let's see what you guys make. So this is my love note. This is my last work in progress. I'm almost done with the body. Actually, if I knit it according to pattern, I would be done with the body, but I think it's a little bit short for me. Even the longer version of the love note is pretty short. So I'm gonna go a few more inches and then put some ribbing on the bottom. I was originally planning on doing long sleeves, but I think I might not have enough yarn for that. I bought 2 skeins of each, a fingering weight yarn from Creo in the colorway Flock of Seagulls, and a silk mohair from Shibui Knits. And so this is my second skein already of the mohair, and this is all that's left of my first skein of the Creo yarn. So I definitely have enough of this yarn to do long sleeves, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough mohair. So as soon as I get down to the end of the body, I'm just gonna weigh the yarn I have left, split it up, and kind of figure out what to do with the sleeves from there. If it ends up being short sleeve, I'm not gonna be mad about it. I still think it would work. It's a really beautiful design. It's really cute. So I still think I would wear it. I will say the lace is not complicated, but it gave me so much trouble. I'm just not really a lace knitter. I haven't had a lot of practice with it, and you can tell. I also, if you're not familiar with this pattern, you're supposed to cast on with a provisional cast on at the neck, and then take out your provisional cast on and knit the collar in the other direction. But I am really bad at provisional cast ons. I've only done it for like a very small amount of stitches, like 7 or 10, or I think I did a 15 stitch provisional cast on once. But I've never done enough stitches for a whole neckline. I forget how many stitches this is, but it's a lot, and I'm really bad at a crochet hook, and I couldn't figure out how to knit into the chain consistently. It was getting like weirdly twisted up. So I got really frustrated, and I ended up just casting on with a long tail cast on, and I'm just planning on picking up stitches and then going in the opposite direction. Hoping that doesn't, I don't live to regret the decision. As we get closer to the time where I have to deal with the neckline, I'm sort of starting to worry that I might have really screwed myself there, and it's going to be hard to pick up the stitches evenly, or it's just going to look weird. I don't know. I think I can make it work. I'm going to make it work somehow. But that's what's going on with my love note. I'm hoping to finish this up in short order because it does not take that long. I've just been working on other things. I was working on that hat forever, and those sweaters before it got too hot. So I'd like to finish this up. So I would also have an FO for the knit along, And that is that. That is it for my whips, which is kind of ridiculous. I have been doing a ton of knitting, but I feel like I don't have that much to show for it. I don't know. Sometimes it goes like that. What else is going on in life news? Not a lot has been going on here. We all got COVID, which is great. Everyone's fine. My kids were really mild. We're all vaccinated and boosted, so I was really thankful for that. We're just about to wrap up the end of the school year for my kiddos. They have about a week left of school, so that is just kind of a crazy portion of the year. Honestly, if I have to go to one more class potluck, my kids' school is really big on potlucks for each grade. So each one has a potluck at the beginning of the year and a potluck at the end of the year. So I have 3 class potlucks in this coming week. One's a breakfast one, one's a dinner one. I don't even know what's going on. So we got that going on. And otherwise, we're just trying to get everything geared up for summer. I'm excited. A bunch of my kids are going, 2 out of 3 of my kids are going to sleepaway camp for summer. So I got to get their life organized and together and make sure they have enough pairs of shorts and the camp t-shirts, and I have to sew their little names on the inside of all their clothes, or iron it in, or I don't even remember how I did that. So I got that going on too. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope your knitting is treating you well, and wherever you are, the weather is improving. It is definitely getting nice here in Chicago as I look out the window. So I always, this is my payback for February, when I always just wonder why we live in this Arctic tundra. Summer in Chicago is great, and it's really a fun place to be. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm sorry it took me so long. If you are on TikTok, please come see me. If you're not, I hope to podcast again in a week or 2. Hopefully with a finished love note, right? Fingers crossed. Please tell me what you're working on. I would love to know. And I always love to see you in the comments and see that you're doing well. So take care. I'll talk to you soon. Happy knitting. I was like, I don't like that. So